Melissa, can you hear?
It's just a different vibe.
Yeah, I went down to, I did a couple of Trina's workshops down there.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
different. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm used to having windows.
Oh, and a different floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, was did you have a birthday?
Yeah,
Awesome, man.
yeah, it's cool.
It's good.
Yeah.
They're both broken.
Look, they don't really need to be open.
Okay.
It's freezing. Thank you. Anything y'all want to do today?
Arm balance?
Okay. For some reason, when I turn the heat on downstairs and up here, it smells like a hair salon.
Well, because it's just
It's
burning
just
off
kidding.
the dust.
The hair. That's what's in there.
It's everywhere. You've been threatening to break down Pincha for a while. Oh. Or was it headstand? I don't remember.
It could be both, but the only problem is I'm not really near the wall today.
Okay.
So it'll be a little tough.
Oh, yeah, forgot. Sorry.
But I will do that if y'all want this weekend. I could do that tomorrow and Saturday. We could break down Pincha. Just so this way, because I'm kind of on the mat today, so I don't want to leave the center here. But yeah, well, we could break that down. You have something, Maura?
Can you do some like intentional breathing exercises?
Sure. I'll put it more in the practice, right? So we kind of get like rolling. All right. So breathing wise, a couple things that like I mentioned to y'all is you want your breath to be smooth, right? You want your breath to be balanced, right? So if you hear in the beginning, I tend to say something like, we slow down the beginning of the inhale and we push more on the end of the exhale, right? So what happens when you inhale? You tend to inhale and it goes like, and we gasp it all real quick, right? So you want to slow down the beginning of the inhale. So when you start to breathe, it's more like, right? And then I got a lot more length out of that. The exhale is going to taper off. So it's going to be like, so you're going to push more on the end of the exhale. Right? So you bring balance to those sides that tend to like dip off a little bit. Then you're going to bring balance to both sides. So if your inhale is, your true breath is your exhale, right? When you popped out, first thing had to happen was you had to push all that fluid out, right? So, and all that fluid came out, and then gravity was like, and helped suck air into your lungs, right? So inhale has an assist. Exhale is you working for it, right? You got to push that air out. So you want to concentrate on pushing all the air out, right? Then you're going to bring balance to the 2 and 3 second thing. Then sometimes you're going to watch what your body does. When we start to get anxious, we do something called reverse breathing. And that's where your belly is going to go in on an inhale and out on an exhale. And it should be the exact opposite. So when I start to get to those points, like when I start to feel anxious, the first thing I do is, when I turn to my breath, is I watch my belly. And I make sure that I'm going, and I exaggerate it usually, and then I go, because it'll be the exact opposite. When you inhale, it'll go, right away, your mind's like, that's not right. It doesn't feel right, right? So recognize those things as we're kind of moving today. And then as we get in our practice, remember, the breath can go up and down. It's not this like slow breath where you're trying to deny the pace. Your breath is just going to kind of settle in, right? They're all going to come together. So your moving is how long it takes for you to breathe, but depending on how strong the movement is, right, will dictate how much heart rate you need, right, which means how much breath you'll need. So when we're getting at what I mean by that is like when we're linking poses together, your heart rate's probably going to come up. You're probably going to have to pick the pace of your breath up, right? When we're doing one pose at a time, it's probably going to be a little slower. So think about through the practice. We ready? Take a nice seat, close the eyes, sit up tall. When you breathe into your upper back, right? The belly we're looking at because that's just something that we can focus on. But feel that when you breathe. Feel how when you inhale, that whole upper back broadens and opens. That's why when you go to the doctors and they listen to your lungs, right, they listen to your back. So feel that space starting to open up. And with that, as the upper back opens, the chest gets broader. You feel those side bodies lengthen. So from hips to armpit, you get nice and tall. And just feel the breath working through the body. Take a big inhale here. Take a big inhale here. Full breath. And then a nice big exhale, complete exhale. And then work those little refinements. So listen to yourself breathe, or slow down the beginning of the inhale and push more on the end of the exhale, or count out the breath just like we talked about. Then maybe we get to Ujjayi breath, where we let the air rebound off the back of the throat. That's that sound that you hear. That's drawing the air off the back of the throat. Now I'm trying to be a little loud so you can hear it, but you want it to settle. The next inhale, let the arms lift. And let the exhale bring the fingertips and the knuckle pads to root. Now the breath goes to that space between our palms. And we say it travels down our arms to the back of our heart, and from the back of our heart out before us. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. Same thing with the Om. The Om is that you're warming up the breath. You're trying to get the Om, right? To be even, to control that. So now as we start working the breath, spin around all fours, you're already starting to feel something there, right? You've got an intention there already. That's the idea, right? You feel it, and that's what you can take with you. Right? I know I say the same shit a lot, so my voice might go with you sometimes, but it's the feeling that you're going to be able to keep. So set it up, all fours, hands and knees. Stay with the breath. As you inhale, you're going to feel that like claw into the floor. There's that hug in. On the exhale, you're going to feel that little bit of settling in the upper back. You're going to feel that head and that throat sliding back. Feel that breath again, big inhale. Feel those side bodies starting to lengthen. Feel those spaces between the ribs, those are your intercostal muscles. Feel those starting to expand. And on the exhale, feel the belly draw in as the ribs compress. Push the air out. Low mountain we're in. Keep breathing. See if you could hold that space as you're starting to expand the body from breath. And then when you're ready, work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back. Look to your belly. Lengthen those sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round.
So now we start to link the breath with the movement. So if your inhale was 2 seconds when you counted it out, that's how long you want to go through the arch. If the exhale is 2 seconds, that's how long you want to go through the round, or if it's 3 seconds or whatever it is. This is when I tell you all that it's almost like we're moving in slow motion. We're not, but we're just moving with our breath. But our breath isn't that high right now, right? It's really controllable. So the movement has to be slow. One more, and then come to a neutral position. So find that flat back. Take a couple breaths. Then bring the right hand behind the head. Inhale, take the elbow to the sky. Exhale, take it across to the eye of that left elbow. Inhale, take it to the sky. Exhale, take it across. So here we're putting it with the breath, right? 2 or 3 seconds to take the elbow to the sky. And then that same 2 or 3 seconds to take the elbow across the body. Let's do 5. This is my 4th one. Stay with your breath. And then after that 5th one, lower the right hand down, take a breath. When you're ready, left hand goes behind the head. As you draw the fingers down into the head, push your head back into your fingers so you feel the muscles in the neck ignite. And then let that inhale take the elbow to the sky, and the exhale takes it across the body. 4 more. Drive that left knee down into the ground as you take the elbow to the sky. So you're holding this twist in that middle upper back. If the hip peels up and the knee gets light, then that's going into the hip. That's below the waist, right? That's not where our twists are. Then after your 5th one, we'll meet back in these all fours. Even lowering the hand to the floor, stay with your breath, right? That's a long-ass time to take your hand down to the floor, 2 seconds, but that's just what the breath is asking for. Find that low mountain. When you're ready, step back to plank. Shoulders are on top of the wrist crease, and you're reaching out of your heel. So if you're not sure what that means, if you look at me, you can see how my toes are closer to my shins as compared to this would be like Tadasana, standing. This is not where we want to be. This is plantar flexion. We're looking here, dorsiflexion. Now lift the hips, come to downward dog. First downward dog, you could bend the knees. You could swivel the hips a little bit. You can pedal the heels. Right? Whatever feels good to you. You could do a combination of all of those. And then come to a neutral position. So when you're doing that, you're just starting to feel a little bit. What are some things that I already can rely on energetically, like muscle energy to hold me up? What are some things I already feel that I'm going to have to open up, right? Organic. Keep hugging the hands in. Keep those forearms lifting up. Keep those inner biceps lifting up. Slide that head and the throat back, and then take the chest back towards the toenails. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Keep it going. Let's do 5. Stay with your breath. Now, this is my 4th one. I'm coming up on my 5th. On your 5th, as you come forward, let the exhale lower. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. Take those shoulders back, like you're squeezing them to the midline, and then down away from your ears. Then after your 3 breaths, lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Right hand to the outside of the left calf or shin. Take that little twist. Maybe peek underneath that left arm. Inhale, unwind. Place the hand down. Swap side 2. Keep pushing your right hand down and forward. And that'll keep your hips moving back to like where the ceiling and the wall meet at the back of the room. Inhale, unwind. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take those 3 breaths. You can stay low, you can come up high, whatever feels good to you. Then after those 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Front knee right on top of the ankle and in line with your second toe, so the one next to your big toe. Keep those legs nice and charged up, so we're pushing down. That's top to bottom. Side to side, we're hugging shins into the midline, even though they're not next to each other. Front to back, we're pushing that front heel down and pulling it back to us. And we're pushing the ball of that back foot down and we're pulling it forward to us. Now, keep that in the legs. You feel it coming up the body. Pull the pelvic floor up like from your junk. Pull your belly in. Shudders. Heart reaches out. Throat's back. Look out in front of the mat. Reach through the crown of the head as you inhale. Come up for your Vajrasana 1 crescent. Keep the back heel sweeping out. It's going to try to do this. So you got to sweep this way. That's going to then pull that hip forward for you. Now keep pushing down. Now reach up, even through your thumbs. Yep, now curl back. Keep going up and back as you go further in the pose. One more breath. Exhale the hands down, step back, downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Stay with your breath. Right? That vinyasa gets long when you stay with your breath because it's easy to just bust through that, right? You want to stay with the rhythm. If the breath is 2 seconds, how long it takes to come to plank? 2 seconds to lower down, right? To inhale to cobra, that's the play. Reach the left leg straight back, step it through, lunge. You know, everything we do here is meant to be very mindful, right? We want to know exactly and feel what's happening in every action that we create. Right? That's part of this game. Some games aren't like that, right? Some games can be mindless. This one is not. This is meant to be focused. So keep working it all, from that push, from that breath to that foundation to that engagement. Keep collecting it little by little as you push down, as you hug in. And then when you're ready, because you collected all that, then play with it. Then we move the pose. Now it got a little more challenging, right? So we collect it again. We push down, we lift up, then we curl back that little bit. And we just keep playing with it. Maybe we reach out of the back heel. We keep reaching forward out of the front knee. We keep reaching even beyond the crown of the head through the thumbs, and we let the back of the heart lift up through the front of the chest as we curl back. One more breath. And then exhale your hands down. Step back, downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Nice, y'all. Keep pushing your hands down and forward, and keep taking your toenails back, your chest back towards your toenails. And there's that big opener up the arms and the chest and the side bodies and those lats on your back. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel. Come up, warrior two. Reach through your back hand just a little bit because we tend to do this in the pose. So we just reach back this way. Bend into that lead knee so it stacks right up on top of the ankle. See where this back thigh is? Back. As compared to it trying to pop forward. So keep it rooted back. Now pull your belly button in and lengthen your sit bone down. Yeah, that's how the stretch got better now. Now bring your gaze right over that middle finger. Bring the elbow to the thigh. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek. Extend a side angle. Hand can go to the block or the floor if you want to extend it down. Belly's in, shutters are closed. Now rotate open. So take the top of the ribs back, the bottom of the ribs forward. Maybe you look up towards your bicep. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Take that front leg straight.
Get nice and tall here. Keep this back thigh back. It's going to try to do this. Keep it this way. Come in a triangle. Keep that right side body open here. It's going to try to side crescent on you. Don't let it. Maybe look up. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Bend into that lead knee, warrior two. Spin the hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Downward dog. Move through one vinyasa. Nice, y'all. So there's one of those moments, right? Now maybe you're in vinyasa, just got a little bit quicker because the pace of your breath just came up. But we just linked up a few postures, right? So that's going to naturally happen. That's a good time for your breath to shorten a little, right? Because you know your heart rate's coming up because you're working a little bit harder. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel, come up warrior two. Yep, don't let this thigh come forward. Now, it might feel like you're leaning forward like this. This is the hip flexors that you have to open. So that's going to be belly button to spine. That's first. Now we start opening the inside of the thigh. So I start like sweeping the heel a little bit more. Yep. And maybe I reach through that back hand and I just settle my gaze right over that middle finger. And then the elbow goes to the thigh. Remember the 2 or 3 seconds? Sweep the bicep up. That takes 2 or 3 seconds. That's just what the breath is. Yep. If the hand's going to go down to the block or the floor, same pace. Nice, y'all. Yes. You're going to rotate open, take that breath, and then rotate open for those 2 or 3 seconds. And breathe. Settle into the pose now with the breath. One more. Then push into that front heel. Come up tall into that warrior two. Then push the front leg straight. Check in. Make sure everything's set. When you're ready, hinge the left side of the hip. Come in a triangle. Trikonasana side two. This time you got to keep that left side body from trying to crunch. So squeeze the top side, the right side, engage it. That will open up the left. Spread the fingers. Maybe look up. And now breathe. And then push into that front heel as you come up tall. Bend into that lead knee, warrior two. There's the 2 or 3 seconds. And then spin the hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Downward dog. Move through one vinyasa. Nice, y'all. From downward dog, look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a big breath. Take a big reach. Curl back. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands in front, thumbs come to heart center, let your breath settle. Let your thumbs flick your heart out, let your eyes close. And just breathe, full breath in, complete breath out. You could feel your heart, right, through your thumbs as you're pushing into your chest. You can feel that heart's beating a little bit quicker because we upped our movements a little. And then gently open the eyes, release the hands. Inhale the arms up. Take that right hand behind your back, left hand to your elbow. Sacrum back. So this wants to happen. Here's your sacrum, the top of your pelvis. We got to go this back. It really starts like heels, inner thighs, all right? Sacrum, ribs, head and throat, arm. That's a lot of shit, right? Exhale, release. Inhale the arm up, swap side two. But remember, that's yoga, right? It's mindful. It's going to ask you to do a lot. It's not about we're not doing as many reps as possible, right? We're trying to get as many quality moves in here as we can. And in yoga, our moves right now are like microns, right? It's like a little adjusting, little bit, right? Not these big power moves all the time. Because you're always building on what you already created. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold.
So you don't want anything to go away, right? If it does crumble a little bit, you rebuild it. But if you can hold on to it, that's much more efficient. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. So keep the balance in those legs. The balance is going to be from your feet all the way up your legs. So balance in the engagement, especially in the knee joint. It's real common that we hyperextend, right? Make sure that we just have a neutral engagement here. And as you look forward, draw the fingers back to you. And your spine's going to pull forward. That's making space. And then go ahead and fold nice and deep into that pose. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Sit back, chair pose. So butt goes back first, right, before your knees bend. Knees tracking the second toes. Sit back deeper. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Lift the arms up. Yep, sit back deeper. Keep your belly in so your sit bones are gently reaching to your heels, not to the sky. Sit back deeper. Push down, rise up. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Take that side bend to the right. If you want to play with the balance, plug the right leg up. Head and throw back, arms back. Inhale, come up, swap the hands, swap the foot if it's up. Hip goes to the right just a little bit. Head and throw back, arms back. Yep, and we take that side bend to the left. Nice peel off that hip bone. Inhale, come up, release the hand and the foot. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward, walk your hands out in front of you. Your block would be your friend, right? It would help boost you up a little bit here if you want to use your block. When you're ready, reach the right leg straight back, standing split. Keep sweeping the inner heel out and lift, bring the intention to the inner upper edge of the thigh as compared to the outside of the hip. That'll help keep those toes pointing straight down. Now reach your right heel back so your left heel is heavy and you can move your toes on your left foot. Yep, not the ball of your foot, not your heel, but just your toes. Now inhale, look forward. Yep. Now exhale as you fold over that left leg, reach that right heel up to the sky. Yes. Exhale, lower it down. Take a breath. When you're ready, reach the left leg straight back. Right, if you lift from the inner upper edge of the thigh and you keep sweeping that heel out, you're going to keep the toes straight down, the kneecap straight down. Then reach your left heel back so your right heel gets heavy. You should feel that root up into your right butt cheek. Now inhale, look forward, and then exhale, fold over that right leg, reach the left one up to the sky. And then exhale, lower it down. Walk the hands back in. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Draw that belly, lengthen those sit bones down, maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Roll to the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top or in front, come into side plank. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hand down, push back, downward dog, roll to the outside of the left foot, stack the right foot on top or in front. Inhale, come back to center. Push back, downward dog. Now, go again, roll to the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top or in front, and play with your breath. Or hold. So you could inhale, come back to center, push back. So we're working these alternating side planks. If you're going to hold one side, hold, and I'll tell you when to switch. If you're alternating, keep going. If you're holding one side, switch. If you're alternating, keep going, but stay with the breath. Remember the 2 or 3 second thing? That's where we want to be because that's where we're going to get the most power, the most connection here. One more each side. Control that acceleration, that deceleration, and that stabilization. We'll meet back in downward dog. Yeah, it would be harder. Exhale, lower your knees. So the question was, is it okay to go to side plank from plank? Yeah, it would be more challenging. The only reason that we bring y'all to side plank from downward dog is because the hips are up, right? So it's a little easier. If I'm here, this is a little more challenging, right? Because the hips are closer to the floor, right? So I'm going to have to work this harder. If I'm here, see how high the hips are? So this way, when I rotate, I'm already up. I'm in the plus, right? When I'm down here, I'm at neutral, which means I'm closer to negative, right? To this. So that's why we bring you from downward dog, just to kind of help keep the hips up. Make sense? All right, let's go. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. Turn the hands out while we're here. Belly's in, shutters are closed. Because this wants to happen, right? This. It's this way. See, this is too much. Just like this is not enough. Right? We got to find where that sweet spot is. Inhale, unwind, sit back on your heels. Give those wrists a little spin. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. Step back, plank. Push back, downward dog. Take the feet wide, walk the hands back, come to Malasana. Squat pose. So have your heels rooted either to the blanket or the mat. You could always roll up the mat if you don't have the blanket. Hug the knees in first to engage, then push the knees away to stretch. Drive your elbows down into your knees, and you'll work the upper back a little bit. All right, so we can stay here, opening up the groins and the inner thighs. If you want to work the arm balance, you're going to lift the hips up, and you're going to place your hands just like downward dog. Then I'm going to walk my feet to the midline so my big toe mounds are touching. I'm pushing them together. Then I'm going to look forward. And as I look forward, the weight's going to start to come forward. My feet are going to get light. When my feet get light and they start to float, I'm going to pull my heels to my butt, and I'm going to push my hands down into the floor. Crow. Bukasana. Yeah, keep looking forward. Yep. Nice, y'all. Yeah, keep squeezing those feet together. And then when you're ready, lower down. Come to squat with your feet together. Twist it, crow. Inhale the arms up. Twist to the right. Bring the hands down to the block or up to the floor. Then you're going to open your knees out to the left, and you're going to bend your elbows so that the outside of your right knee is now higher than your right elbow. Then you're going to come up high on your tippy toes here, and you're going to bring the weight forward as you wedge the outside of the leg on the outside of the arm. And that's the twisted version of crow. Yeah. Yeah, keep looking forward. Yep. Now, you see some linking going on, right? So we talked about this as we take the poses a little bit further. This pose, you can actually link a couple different arm balances to. So you could work side crow to Ekapada Kunyasana 1, which is where the bottom leg goes forward. Right? So here, bottom leg forward, top of the leg back. Dvipada is where the legs come together out to the side like this. Then you could come back to your side crow. And I worked on this with y'all a couple weeks ago, like going out the same way you come in. So unwinding the whole thing, right? So you could go side crow, Ekapada Kunyasana 1, Dvipada, Ekapada Kunyasana 1, side crow, right? And you work your way right back out. Do you have to do that? No. But if like you're cruising through, you need the next level of challenge, right? So you challenge yourself wherever you want.
All right, let's meet back here in this squat. Let's try side 2. Of course, one side will always be better, especially in twistings, in twists, right? When we're twisting, when you're walking down the street and someone calls your name, 10 out of 10 times you look over the same shoulder. You do not, as a yogi or a yogini, go, oh, you know what? The last 5 times I looked over my left shoulder, so to balance it out, I'm going to look over my right. That never happens, right? It's always the same shoulder. So don't you think you're going to twist better to one side? Yeah, your natural side, right? So let's give it a go. Inhale the arms up. Now twist. So now you're facing, right, the wall with the window and the door, and your knees are facing straight to the front of the room. Now open your knees out to the bricks. Yeah, now bend that elbow, that right elbow, so that your knee is higher than your elbow. Now go forward. Wedge the outside of that left thigh to the back of that left arm. No, sorry. Outside of right thigh to back of right arm. Sorry, mirror gone bad. Then where'd we go? We went bottom leg forward, top leg back, then legs together. Then we would unwind. I'm just moving a little quick to show y'all. Then we would come together, and then we would work our way back out. Yeah. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. Kick the bottom leg forward, like if you're kicking to where the 2 walls meet at the front of the room. Should we get into the out? I feel like y'all want to take a seated position here. Okay. Fire log. Let's do that. I always prided myself on like one of those people that could take a hint, you know? That's like a big deal, you know? You think it's easy, but it's not. So I've been showing you all this a little bit. In fire log, we would like to stack our feet up like this onto like our thigh, but that's just not accessible for a lot of us, right? So especially if you're tight in the back of the hip. So just move your foot down a little bit so it's below your knee, right? It's on the top of your calf muscle. And that might be a little more accessible for some of us. Yeah. Now reach down, pull that sit bone out, right? Maybe even turn that top thigh in a little bit to get this top thigh to root, the left one. Now push out of those big toe mounts. You always hear me talk about the knees, right? We got to keep these things safe. They don't work good to the side. So we're going to keep them nice and safe by like activating some muscle energy. So like push out of your big toe mount like you're pushing on a gas pedal. Yeah, both feet. Then sit up nice and tall. You know? And you can stay here or you can walk the hands out front a little bit. And you can fold into the pose. But remember, your chest goes first. Don't let your chin go. Some of us are just going to be happy to sit up tall, right? We're going to be there. Some of you are going to fold all the way forward. It just depends where you want to take the pose. Inhale, come up. Release the legs. See, when you're tight in the back of the hip, see how the knee doesn't sit on the foot? This is my tight spot, is the back of my hip and my hips, right? We all have something. Adductors, quads, TFL, NIT band, hamstrings, glutes, right? One of those complexes will be a little tighter than the others. Sit up nice and tall, and then maybe hinge, maybe stay up straight, whatever feels good. But don't lose that activation. And then we're all out here, back here. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up, release the legs. Baby cradle. So we're going to bend our right leg and bring your left foot into the crease of your elbow. This is one I do with y'all, I don't want to say regularly, but it pops up, right? So this arm balance that we're about to do, it seems like one of those like pretzel-y arm balances, right? Where it's like super challenging, but it's super rooted. It's meant to be an arm balance that you learn from. It's on the first syllabus 1, right? So there's 3 of them in Anusara. There was 3 syllabuses. This was number 1. So it means it's meant to teach you, right? It's a preparatory pose to kind of get to some other things. That doesn't mean it's not challenging. It just means it's rooted, right? It's got a good foundation so you can learn from it because you're close to the floor. So if you want to stay here, we're opening up the back of the hip again, you can stay here. If you want to work the arm balance, you're going to lift your left leg and you're going to bring it high on your arm. You're going to squeeze your arm between your leg. Otherwise, this would happen. It's going to slip off. So I squeeze. Now place your hands down just like downward dog. Same hand placement you've been doing the whole day. Now take your right foot and cross it over your left. Then take your feet to the outside of your hand. That's where you got to get a little abs. Now you got to bend your right elbow. This is what I always see. It's got to go this way. Now I'm going to wedge the inside of my thigh on the back of my arm. And I'm going to squeeze my legs together. Then you can link. You release the bottom leg. You pull the knee towards your elbow. Then you hinge back down. Now this is Ekapada Kundinyasana 2. And then maybe you go back. Nah. Some days it works, some days it doesn't, right? I'm just kind of coming off an injury for the past week, so I just really didn't want to challenge it, right? You got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Me, I'm thinking, I got waves on the brain. So right now I'm like, I haven't been in the ocean in like 4 days. I'm like ready to rip my hair out. So I'm concerned with that. Let's swap. So today for me is a back off day, right? Maybe for some of y'all, it's a go for it day. Let's swap side 2. Arm balances, part of it is a go for it. Is it mindless though? No. You took a breath, you set a foundation, you engaged it, right? So that when you try it, it's the best that you can be in. If you notice that it's not going well, then you back off. If you can recognize that it's going good, then you push a little more, right? And that's always going to be the game. What's the moment asking you? And then you always hear me say something like, well, remember, with each breath is a new moment, right? So every time you breathe, you can change that up. You go, oh, you know what? I didn't feel good a moment ago, but now I feel pretty good, right? Maybe I adjusted a couple things. So if you want to stay here, stay here. If you're going to work Astavakrasana, you're going to lift the leg up, take the right arm underneath, and squeeze. Then you're going to take your left ankle over your right, then your feet to the outside of your hand. Then you're going to wedge the inside of the thigh on the back of that right arm. So you got to bend both elbows, like chaturanga. Bring your chest towards the floor. Squeeze your thighs together. Bend your left elbow. Yes. Think chaturanga. Yes. Squeeze your thighs. Bring your chest to the floor. Chest to the floor. Yes. Yeah. So that's that. You're at that point, right? Where you're like, oh shit, I got to own this thing, right? Now, if you took a breath, you set a foundation, you feel engaged, go for it. If you feel like you need to pause and that's success, yes, yes, yes. Reach your feet to just go feet to the bricks. So see, when I go to this position, right, now I want to lock this in. So I'm going to go, see my legs super squeezing. Now I made like a girder, right, out of that. And now I can hold myself up. Make sense? We got to get into a little quads. So let's go to the wall. Grab your mats, find a spot on the wall. We'll do it up the wall today. Then you can use that. Yeah. I'll just kind of do it lightly on this. So we'll do quad stretch up the wall first, all right? So get yourself into a comfortable place. If you need a blanket or anything, keep it with you. So if you are tight in the quads, right? The most accessible way is to go like outside of your thigh and your hip to the wall, and then you spin your foot up like this, right? Then you're going to step the bottom foot underneath like this. Now, some of you, that's not going to be a problem. You're just going to be able to go like this. Whatever works, all right? Let's go right leg up the wall, left foot in front. and then slowly come up, either hands to the block or come up to your hands to your knee, whatever your flavor is. Now, the closer your knee is to the wall, the more challenging this is. So you need to make it a little more accessible. Move your knee forward off the wall, and that'll make it a little more accessible. You need it to be more challenging. Move your knee right up against the wall. Now, drag your back knee forward, and right away that quad stretch gets good. Now go belly to spine. It gets even better. Now go sit bones to the backs of the knees. Even better. Some of you are going to take the hands up. This hits me a little bit in my low back, so I don't really tend to go arms up, but some of you are going to go thumbs to the wall. Go for it. Keep squaring that right hip forward like you're hugging to the inside of your left thigh. You'll start getting the outside of that quad. Yep. One more breath. If the hands are up, lower the hands down. We want to go out just like we came. Then we're going to lower that front leg. Then we're going to lower the back. Nice, y'all. We'll swap side too. Take your time. I've told y'all many times, I've never even come up from here on this. If I surf a lot or if I'm on my bike a lot, right, and those hip flexors are tight, sometimes I stay right here. Sometimes I work my way up to here. And then sometimes I could come all the way up. Now try to lower this right hip down and lift this left one up. So the back leg, you want to lift that hip up. That's how you access that lateral quad too. And then drag the knee forward. We already get the quad stretch. The belly to spine, we make it a little better. The sit bones to the backs of the knees, it's getting even better. And then if you want to play with the arms up, go for it. Maybe take your thumbs back to the wall. But don't lose the shutters. So belly's in, shutters are closed. Yeah, you don't want to back bend your way to the wall. Yeah, you just want to try to bring the upper trunk neutral and then let the arms just go behind you a little bit. Yep, one more breath. And then lower the hands down, then the front leg, then the back. It's not that you never wanted back bend. Let me clarify that, because you could use this as a prep, right? To, let's say you were going to Ekapatarajik Patasana, which is like pigeon with the quad stretch. You could certainly prep that up with this, right? So, but what I'm asking for you all is to just go neutral. Y'all know I do sneaky therapeutics, right? So that's my shit. I just try to get you all to come to this position when you leave. This is all I work for. The rest of it is all fun, but this is all I'm trying to get out of y'all. Just stand up straight, right, when you leave. All right, so, which that is much harder than it seems, right? A lot harder. Even though we've been standing upright for millions of years, we still don't do it correctly, right? So let's go handstand, headstand, tripod, anything you want to play with, go for it. I'll talk you into downward dog and L pose. Those of you that want to go on your own, go for it, okay? So if it's not your day to invert, you know you're always welcome to go legs up the wall. If you're at home and you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back. Keep your knees bent, interlace your hands behind your thigh, take a bunch of breaths, and then you can swap. So if you're going to stick with me, let's go all fours, hands and knees, feet are on the wall. If you're going to go on your own, whenever you're ready. And then from that all fours, take a couple breaths, work that low mountain, just like we did earlier today. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips, come to a short downward dog. Then check in. You feel good, step one foot up the wall. Still need to take another couple breaths, take a couple more breaths. If you're ready to step the second foot up the wall, step the second foot up the wall. Now, if your legs are straight, you're in L pose. If your knees are still bent, you're in downward dog inverted. It's not a right or a wrong. There are two different poses. Play with what feels good to you. Nice, y'all. Yes, awesome. So one of the main thing that yoga is asking for you to do right now is to keep your breath as calm upside down as you can right side up. That's a big challenge. And that might not always be the case. There's a lot of muscle energy in some of these poses. But that's the goal, right? Can I just do an inversion like I'm standing in Tadasana? That's the goal. You know, for me in my inversions, I talked briefly about this with y'all the other day, like my thing has been, and I do this in my headstand or my tripod because I feel comfortable in those, I try to go eyes closed now. That's my thing, right? That's where my balance needs to be. There's always something, right? It's never, ever going to stop. It's just going to keep moving on to something else.
The first thing that I do before I close my eyes is I say to myself, you're good. I'm going to convince myself, right, that I'm good because I am. I put myself here. I'm controlling all these actions. So I'm going to give myself a challenge. If I feel that the actions are still a little bit away from me and I'm still trying to understand them, then I'm going to learn that first.
Give yourself about 30 seconds or so. Nice, Sean. When you're ready, let's meet on our backs. You know, supported bridge, always. If you want to take that block at the sacrum, go for it. If you want to work bridge and wheel, I'll talk you through. We'll do two. So as we lay back, knees are bent, feet are on the floor. We could feel our heels with our fingertips. That's the way we know our knees are on top of our ankles. And the head and the throat are back. So we take the shoulders back a little bit. Maybe we even robot the arms, right, to get that little extra integration. Maybe we don't. It's whatever feels good to you. But we're nice and neutral in the pelvis, so the belly's to the spine and the sacrum is flat on the floor. Now we start to charge all that up. So we start engaging the muscles. Now we're going to express. So when you're ready, slowly lift the hips. Remember the 2 or 3 second thing? The common tendency when you lift too fast is that we end up pushing the pubic bone to the sky and firing the thighs into external rotation, which is the exact opposite of what we're looking for. We're looking to keep the inner thighs working in and down. So your knees should be working closer to each other rather than further apart. Wiggle the shoulders under nice and deep here. Some of you are going to like to interlace the fingers behind the back. Go for it. With those shoulders under nice and deep, you're going to feel this back bend happen under the shoulder blades. You want that. Bring the belly to the spine. Now bring the sit bones to the backs of the knees. Now you feel the lumbar spine filling in, so you feel nice and strong and safe. Now gently push your feet forward, and you're going to feel this back bend continuing to happen underneath the shoulder blades, right where we want it to be. One more breath. Stay engaged as you lower down. See if you get that sacrum to land flat. Feet go wide, knees touch. One hand to your heart, one hand to your low belly. Now on the second one, I'll first talk you into bridge and then wheel. Play wherever feels good to you. Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet. Bring the arms back along the sides or bring them to robot, whatever your flavor is going to be. Take those shoulders back. Start in that nice neutral position. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips. Right? Slow, you're going to be able to control. Fast is going to try to unwind on you. Now, if you want to stay here, you stay here in your bridge. If you're going to go to your wheel, you're going to place your hands wide. Turn the hands out. They're going to try to turn in. You got to turn them out a little bit. Now, plug your shoulders back.
When you're ready, push down to come up. One more breath. Stay engaged as you lower down. Take the feet wide, let the knees touch. If your right hand was on your heart, left hand on your heart this time, opposite hand to your low belly. Take a couple breaths. Feel the breath came up a little bit on that, right? Open the knees, windshield wiper side to side. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug or make a couple little circles. Keep that right knee in. Keep the left knee bent but lower the foot to the floor. Take your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Kick the heel to the sky. Keep the right hip down as you take the leg to the left. There's that TFL IT band. Bend the knee, come back to center, release the leg. Hug the left knee to your chest. Right hand to the pinky toe side of the foot. The heel reaches to the sky first. Keep the left hip down. Take the leg to the right just a little bit. Once you cross that midline, it's on. Bend the knee, come back to center, release the leg, take the legs out straight. Reach the arms up overhead. Take a big stretch, spread the fingers, spread the toes. Hug the right knee to your chest, roll towards that left hip, take the twist. Belly's in, shutters are closed. Keep that right shoulder rooted down to the mat. We get that nice rotation through the spine. Inhale, come back to center. Left knee in as the right leg reaches out. This time we roll to the right hip. Left shoulder stays rooted down. Belly's in, shutters are closed. And we take that nice twist. Inhale, come back to center. Take both legs out, reach those arms up overhead, take that big stretch. And when you're ready, hug the knees to your chest and take the knees wide, happy baby. You can rock side to side. You can reach one leg out, both legs out, whatever feels good here. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center, exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation. Feels good to you. Here as we lay back, we let the legs stretch out. We let the feet gently roll open. We let the arms come along the side so that the shoulders can settle back as we turn that open palm to the sky. We let our head rest back. Maybe our eyes close. We let the tongue soften from the roof of the mouth. It's here that we let the body get heavy. The mind softens as it turns back to the breath. The heart opens as it gets ready to move the practice into the yoga of life. We talked about our breath today in our practice. That one thing that you could count on from the moment that you were until the moment that you'll be something else, your breath.
Here in the breath, each exhale clears and it removes and it makes space. So that next inhale can draw in something new, the change, something more in tune. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feel the breath washing over the body, your fingers, your toes, the crown of your head, through your heart. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. Taking our time, moving slowly and consciously. As the knees gently hug towards your chest, roll to the right side. Push your hands down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. One more time to seal in our practice, the song of our breath. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Home crew. Y'all know if you have any questions, grab me before you go. Something feels weird, definitely get me before you go. Maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. If not, I'll see y'all soon. Thanks, crew. Oh yeah, my workshop is now the 25th, October 25th, okay? 6:30, 6:30 to 8. It's after my Friday class. Arm balance and inversions, yep. They call it get upside down. I call it inversion conversion, but we're going upside down is what's happening.
At my old studio, we called it like school.
Yeah.